Hey, good morning, everyone. And I'm Russ Johns with Future Media TV and my lovely co-host, Marion LaSalle. And we are hosting Ted Liman on the Tools, Tips, and Teamwork talk show today. And Ted, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have going on today.
Sure. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm running 4 companies at the moment.
Wow.
And it's an advantage for me to work this week because it's spring break. Everybody is out. People stop bugging me, so I can get my things done. So it's always it's always good. The traffic is out. My parking garage is empty, so I can park in a very close spot to my office. So it's always nice.
Interesting. Everybody's in Florida, huh?
That's right.
Nice. Out on the beach this week. So, Marion, what are we going to talk about today?
Oh, when I first read this, it actually made me sad. The subject today that we're talking about is, can my business become obsolete? Ouch, that hurts.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
Oh, it hurt, though. When I first read it, it did sting a little bit.
Sting a little bit?
Yeah,
So,
because
Ted,
things are changing so fast.
Yeah. You're going to have to define this for us, Ted, so we know what we're talking about today.
Well, the purpose of our show with Future Media and also with me is to encourage you guys, is to help you guys grow. So if anything at all, whatever subject line we ever have, it's not to tell you guys that you are going extinct. It's actually to help you how to avoid that. So
good. Okay, I feel better now.
That's great. So the question is, can my business become obsolete? And the definition of that really, if you have no path going beyond all doubts that your business will make positive revenue, you are going into an obsolete sector of the business. And there's going to be a lot of examples throughout the show of who has been around and who are not around anymore. And we'll reminisce on those names, and we'll also learn how those older businesses stay in this industry, in their industries.
So let me ask you this, Ted. There's some things, in the corporate environment, a lot of times there's this thought process that if you can work yourself out of a job, you're doing well. Because your job is to be able to train others around you, so you always have growth, right?
Right.
So you're always expanding. And I'm not really sure that this is the direction, because that's kind of what I look at, is like, okay, I'm making myself obsolete because if I can train 3 people to cover what I'm doing and then elevate, work up the ladder. That's one way of thinking about it. However, it's not necessarily what we're talking about today, is it?
Not quite. And what it is that you're absolutely right. One of the ways to grow, especially if you're not in an entrepreneurship, that's exactly what you do. You want to go around. You actually want to be able to help people. I always tell people this: whatever you need, try to give that to somebody. It's like planting a seed. Eventually, it'll come back to you. But yeah, that might be an absolutely different show. What I meant by that in this case right here, you remember, like back in the old days, we have staple stores like Radio Shack, Service Merchandise. Right. Yeah. And those companies right now are not around anymore. Yeah. The question is why? Why are they not around anymore? They were great, right? I don't know if you remember, but back then when I was in high school, my weekend was Service Merchandise weekend. It was, they have great, cool gadgets. And back then it was a fax machine, like the big, bulky $400 fax machine, and the Motorola cordless phone, the one that looks like a turtle. The Sony Walkman. Service Merchandise was the store. It was like the Amazon back then, and they're gone. And then what else? Office Office Max, right?
Office,
Yeah, Office Max and Office Depot. I mean, they merged now, and actually,
Yes.
I can't recall which one bought which one. I think Office Max bought Office Depot.
they merged. Well, just like what was it? What's not Barnes and Noble? The other one, the bookstore.
Orders.
Borders.
Yeah,
I mean, they were huge. I loved Borders bookstores.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, gone. They're
Yeah.
gone.
I can imagine, Russ, because you love reading books, and at the same time you love music. And
Yeah.
Borders is the only bookstore that have both. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that was your hangout place. And so let's talk about that. The showcase of Borders back then, they knew they were going away since Jeff Bezos came up with online bookstore.
Hmm.
And they knew they were going away. Barnes and Nobles knew they were going away, but instead of adjusting to the market, what they did is actually, you know what? Nobody is like us. So no, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to go bankrupt. We're going to be around. We are the Borders. We are Barnes and Nobles. We're going to be around, and nobody is going to be able to take away our market share. And today, that's not the reality, right? I mean, today, Borders is gone. Barnes and Nobles just keep on closing stores, if not minimizing them. And the market really doesn't really care about coming in and flipping through the books. They can actually do that at Amazon.com. You can flip through the book like digitally.
Yeah.
And most important thing really is the pricing of the book.
Yeah, I still have to say though, I do appreciate the fact that I can go into a bookstore,
Yeah,
pick up a book, sit down, read a magazine. I like the feel of a book. You know, I there's just something about it. I don't know though that it offers the same value in the market as it once did.
Yeah.
Because of the velocity that Amazon has taken on with the immediate. I mean, you order a book and it could be here tomorrow.
The drones deliver it in an hour.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you, you know, although, I mean, I also do that. I still go to Barnes and Nobles, flip through the books. But the question is, do we buy books from Barnes and Nobles?
I in the last year, I have purchased books from Barnes and Noble.
Not enough to keep them in business.
Yeah,
though.
but that's what I'm saying is not. I have received more books from Amazon than I have Barnes and Noble.
Okay. So my question is, how do we know as a business owner, how do we know that we're becoming obsolete or that, you know, there's a chance of that? I mean, it seems to me like Amazon took everybody by surprise.
Right.
And look at taxi drivers and Uber, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So taxi drivers were all of a sudden they were doing fine, and then the next thing they know, they're out of business.
Hotels and Airbnb.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know that you're going to become obsolete? Is there any way to tell?
You know,
Well-
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Great question, Marion.
I guess a good indication is like going back to Barnes and Nobles, for example. I mean, I told my wife, and it will always be our concept. When we go to Barnes and Nobles, we find a book that we love, buy it from them. I mean, let's appreciate that they have brick and mortar, that they have to pay and keep employees in. I mean, we'll do that. Now, when you know that people are actually buying books from other stores, when you know, for example, like Alga Processing, my company, the oil and gas company, if I find out that there's a lot of people actually getting services away from me, in other words, the market is there, but they're not buying it from me. So that's when I know eventually everybody is just going to shift. I mean, the market is going to be the same. So the market is going to shift from me to somebody else. Now, if I find out that the market actually is just being in a monetary stage, they're not spending money, then that's fine. That's not becoming obsolete. But when you know everybody is running away from you, that's what it is. That's a good sign that your business is becoming obsolete.
Yeah, if you get a drastic drop in revenue or your changes and you continue to lose money, you know, that's a problem.
Okay, so what about before that, though? What about before, all of a sudden you're out of business? Isn't there some way to take polls or some way that you can find out that people are leaving and why they're leaving?
Well, actually, I was about to continue, Russ. It's true. In some cases, you'll see a big drop in your business. However, that's not always the case. Like the Barnes and Nobles and Borders, they knew they were losing money. They were losing market share from Amazon.com. Now, Amazon.com started off as I always imagine it like little Bambi, just born and still trying to get on the four legs, still shaky. But Amazon.com was very aggressive. They made deals with publishers. They were able to claim now we have 30 million title in our on our site. We are the biggest in the world, and really they're just being smart about it. They don't really have 30 million books in their garage. Yeah, I mean they started off in a garage, so they don't have 30 million, but they have it in it virtually. They have it. So when people order, those orders can be fulfilled immediately. And now, how many of us actually remember Ricky Lake Show?
I do.
Right? Ricky Lake Show. What happened to Ricky Lake Show? What happened to Maury? And what happened to who was that? Montel. I think it was that show, the Montel show. And a lot of these shows and the USA channel. I mean, back then it was so huge. I mean, right now USA channel is just a channel on TV, but they become obsolete because they're not catering to the market, and the market changes. And every one of us are growing into different stage of our lives. If we used to buy, for example, like sport clothing, probably right now we're buying business clothing, and eventually we're just going to be buying pajamas, But that's where the market is going to be. If we don't follow the market, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it all. And as a matter of fact, this one here is a fun fact. What is that? Who is Bart Simpson's wife? Marge, right? Okay. So Marge, we
know that, don't we?
Yeah, I love The Simpsons. So Marge actually in 2009 posted on Playboy magazine. Now people are asking like, what is Hugh Hefner doing here? It's a cartoon. And what Playboy said is the generations of Marge right now is in the age where they buy Playboy books. So although it's cartoon, people were buying those Playboy, and as a matter of fact, I mean a lot of them buy it for keeps. Yeah, following the generations, and same thing with Generation X and Y, millenniums. I mean, right now, if we read articles, business articles, everybody is following that. Where are these people going? These people with money, where are they going? Let's go there.
Well, it's interesting because the millennials are a bigger market than the boomers. Mm-hmm. And the boomer generation, is huge, and we're aging, and the millennials are even larger, and the attitudes and the purchasing decisions and the way that they purchase and the way that they buy and the way they search for things, completely different than what I'm used to. You guys are much younger than I am, so it's much different than that. So that's impacting every business that is around us. That it's impacting every business that exists today. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to see what's happening in the industry. Much like the gas prices, how is that impacting growth, expansion, and everything else?
I think we kind of glossed over what Ted said, and I really would like to go back to that because I've seen, as he was mentioning Marge Simpson being on Playboy, I was thinking about all the companies that I saw that went, oh my God, these young people are taking over. We better get off, what we were thinking and do something cool, right? What the young kids think is cool.
Yeah.
So look at Target and how they started playing their music of the day, and they started bringing in hip hop stuff, and it's like, okay, I can see how they need to think about the changing market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. And
so you have to hire hip hoppers.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So like right now, for example, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there with the oil and gas going down. Everybody is out on the street, and it's not easy to get back to the corporate world. A lot of them are actually trying to open up their own business. So therefore, the incubator business now is doing really well because everybody just signing up. They want to do business on their own. They want to know how to open up a company, a storefront. How do you, and then eventually the accountants are going to reap the benefit right around this time. It's like, how do I file tax? What do I need to put in there? How do I do it? There's a lot of first timers right now. Since the downturn of the oil and gas, there's a lot of that going on in Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, the oil and gas states. A lot of those are happening. So, and eventually, what's also really good about the good news for future media is those people right now will have to realize that social media is a new platform of marketing.
Right.
And eventually they will actually run to you guys and say, hey, how do I do this? Things are coming out of my screen instead of on newspapers, green sheets. I mean, who touches green sheets anymore nowadays? Houston Press, what else? I mean, there's a lot of those paper magazines that people are not really getting into right now. You still see it at the stores, but nobody's picking it up.
Yeah. And that's an evolution as well, just like Barnes and Noble or, anything else that we've seen. Netflix is a huge one that's taken over. I never saw, I thought, Blockbuster was going to be around forever. And
yeah.
No way.
Blockbuster's gone.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah. Darn it.
Can't go down there and cruise the movies anymore.
No.
Yeah, and then if you can't find a title, they'll say, "Oh, it'll be here next week."
Yeah. Well, and what's really ironic though is the red box has taken over.
Yeah.
And you have a red box kiosk.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the craziest thing when they first came out.
And it was started at McDonald's. How weird was that? Go to McDonald's and get a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy, but it worked.
So the definition of a dinner and movie is completely changed in America. Hi, dear. Let's go to dinner and get a movie. Watch a movie. Oh, the changes that are among us, right?
It's economical.
It is definitely economical. Dinner and movie, I mean, it's just insane how much you can actually spend.
Okay, so I have a question, and this is a big one, okay?
All right. We're hanging on.
So Ted, okay, so let's say you sell cars.
Mm-hmm.
If cars go out of style because everyone's taking the train, I mean, you have to diversify, right? But that is huge. All your money, all your equipment, everything's in your industry, in the business that you built. Mm-hmm. So when the oil prices are down, like you said, the oil companies aren't doing well, but other companies do very well, right? I mean,
right.
It's almost like, so you have to have some way to survive until it comes back, or you have to run two businesses at once. I mean, what's the answer?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. It's you're absolutely right. I mean, right now people are not buying oil and gas. And however, the money is there. They're saving money. The money is somewhere. They're using it for something. And the car industries are reaping the benefit, as a matter of fact. Remember, Ford was opening up $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. Now they're expanding that. I think they're going to like $4.5 billion instead of $2.5 billion. And other cars, they're just popping up with new models. And they know that people are going to buy. They know the money is there. People are less scared of gasoline price, so that's where they're spending the money on. And and therefore electric cars and hybrids, they're not doing too well. But the conventional cars, they're doing really good right now at this moment. And like, this is what business owners have to think about. They need to be dynamic. They need to find out ways how to scale up their business. And going back to Redbox, you're thinking like, how crazy was that they started off at McDonald's? Now, if we think about it, if you have a deal with McDonald's and you say, hey, McDonald's, I want to do this right here, only at your stores. Can you imagine how many stores are there? How many McDonald's stores are there in the United States? They're everywhere. So it's a very easy supply chain action. All Redbox has to do is ask McDonald's, okay, give me a list of your stores. I'm going to put them all in there. So everybody goes to McDonald's. Otherwise, McDonald's is not open in that location. Everybody goes to McDonald's, and people come in. And Redbox knows that the kind of people that would rent movie from Redbox is those kind of people who believes in $1 value. So using that platform, okay, everybody go to McDonald's, get this thing called Redbox. It's really cool. It's only $1, and you know,
fries in a movie. I mean, you got it. Yeah.
Well, Russ, where's Radio Shack today?
Exactly. I mean,
Sprint bought Radio Shack, and you know what? People are thinking like, why is Sprint buying Radio Shack? People are thinking, are they okay? Are you guys okay? You guys are buying like a business that's losing money. What's going on? So Sprint is doing what Redbox is doing. Sprint said, okay, you know what? We might not be able to sell resistors, transistors, or whatever that Radio Shack is selling, but their stores, they're out there. They're where the people are. We'll sell cell phones in those stores.
Yeah.
So it's a great bargain. The price is low because they're losing business. They're in bankruptcy. The price is low, and yet the location is great, and the store is already made. I mean, there's a lot of electronics in there. Exactly what Sprint needs.
Just put a new sign out there and just, make it simple.
I wondered what was happening to them because people kept telling me, well, Radio Shack went out of business, but I still see their stores open. It's like, okay, I don't get it. So I'm glad you told me that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they do an integration, so which is great. So people actually now when they say Radio Shack, it has a name on it, and at the same time, they can also sell Sprint services. Yeah. So it's a win-win situation. And that's what we need to think nowadays in our business. If your business is not doing well, see if you can chase the market. Where's the market going? I mean, go out there. And to be frank, yellow cabs, like taxis in New York, in Manhattan, the price of Uber is the same as the price of yellow cabs in there. So if somehow they figure out a way to make the price the same. So to me, when I was in Manhattan, I did not need to call Uber. Yellow cab is almost as good as Uber.
Same cost effectiveness.
Yeah, it costs the same. At the same time, you find yellow cabs everywhere, whereas Uber, you have to wait for it to arrive.
Well, that begs the question then, is if you have a great product and great customer service, will that still guarantee the preservation of your business?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. I mean, what is it? You guys remember Ricoh, RICOH, like these cameras? Right? I mean, they were great. They were
great. Equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Office equipment. They sell cameras. They sell copier. They were great. The customer service was great, but people are not doing that anymore. People are not into old cameras. They're not into typewriters. And the business becomes obsolete, and they're not catching up with it.
Right. Well, even if the customer service is excellent, it doesn't guarantee that the market is going to be there, right?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, just like typewriters, IBM Selectric was a great typewriter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's still a great typewriter. It doesn't change the fact that it's a great typewriter. It just changes the fact that a typewriter is no longer the instrument of choice to communicate.
I'm
right?
just having a hard time bringing like a bulk of a typewriter wherever I go. Where else today we can
It's much bigger than my phone, right?
exactly we can carry it in one hand now. So IBM and what is it? A great typewriter. So right now, like the oil and gas, for example, the oil and gas is low. Now, a lot of countries now is doing the study where, now is the right time to import oil and gas from different countries. Now the economics make sense. So therefore, although we, the Texans, are feeling the downturn of the oil and gas, a lot of other places, a lot of countries actually thinking like, now we can import from USA, we can import from Russia, from China. And it's funny the way it works that we export to somewhere, but we import from somewhere. And at the end of the day, this kind of business right here is all about the profit all about the profit of the oil and gas. And tankers right now are actually great industries. So whoever is playing stocks out there, buy companies that make tankers and buy companies that are selling LNG. They're doing great. Carl Icahn actually did that. Carl Icahn, he put a investment on LNG for a company in Indonesia. So it's out there. They're reaping the benefits of this low oil and gas price.
Well, money is only worth something when it's moving, right?
Exactly, precisely. Yes.
Well, this has been a fascinating.
Really started out, kind of scary and sad, and now you've given me hope that we can fix this. We can not become obsolete.
Well, change is constant, and it's just a matter of how you adapt to the changes in the industry and the market. If gas goes down, there's a lot of opportunity in the entrepreneurial space, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you have Office in America. Office in America is definitely going to be an opportunity for business owners to grab a piece of Office where you don't have to necessarily take the entire overhead of everything. You have to do it all at once. You can take bite-sized pieces and talk to Ted and get in there and have that conversation with him. How can you actually grow your business step by step and it evolve over time and not have to worry about doing it all at once? So thanks for being that resource, Ted. And it's really great to have these conversations. And I like discovering the other side of business equation, that we don't always talk about.
That's right.
Yeah,
I appreciate it too.
My pleasure and my honor to serve you guys and also all our customers who are reaping the benefit of Office in America. And just in case people don't know, we have another big location. Thanks to Marianne, she is guilty of finding us a great space in the Heights, and we also have a third space. It's called Fruition Tech Lab out there on 288 and 610. And we actually still in the talk of trying to grow our business, and we're looking into providing teleconference capabilities for our members. So we want to grow. We want to capture where the market is, and we don't want to become obsolete. We want to be here for you guys.
That's fantastic. Well, we really appreciate your time and effort here on Tools, Tips, and Teamwork Talk Show with Ted Liman. And you enjoy your day.
Thank you.
We'll be back here again next Tuesday, same time, 9:30 Central Time. See you then.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.